Hello, my dear friend. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly, just to yourself. Do you dread the night? Not because of worries or fears, but because you know, with a weary certainty, that your sleep will not be your own. You know that almost like clockwork, a silent, internal alarm will sound, forcing you out of the warmth and safety of your bed. Not once, not twice, but perhaps 3 or even 4 times before the sun rises. Each trip down that dark hallway feels like a small defeat. But night after night, week after week, those small defeats add up. They become a thief. A silent thief that methodically steals the deep, restorative sleep your body and mind so desperately need. For over 3 decades as a physician, I have seen the consequences etched on the faces of my patients. I see it in the chronic fatigue that robs them of the energy to play with their grandchildren. And I hear it in the quiet, unspoken fear that accompanies each nighttime journey. The fear of a fall on a dark floor, the fear that this is an unstoppable decline, the fear of losing one's precious independence. But what if I told you that the path to reclaiming your nights wasn't paved with expensive new prescriptions? What if the solution wasn't complicated or costly? What if I told you that a powerful, scientifically backed answer could be sitting in your spice cabinet right now, likely costing just a few cents per night? It may sound astonishing, but it's a truth I have witnessed time and again. I think of my patient, John, a 72-year-old retired school principal from Ohio who came to me utterly exhausted. He said, "Doc, I feel like my own body is my enemy at night." He hadn't slept for more than a couple of hours at a time in years. Today, John sleeps for 6 to 7 hours without interruption. He told me he feels 20 years younger. His transformation, and so many others like it, all started with one simple ritual. In this definitive guide, we will journey together to understand this problem. I will provide you with the precise, step-by-step instructions for the 60-second ritual that makes all the difference. And most crucially, I will arm you with the knowledge to avoid the common mistakes that cause so many to fail. Before we dive in, I want to know I'm not just talking into a camera. If what I've just described sounds all too familiar to you, please do me a favor and comment a simple yes below. It lets me know you're here, and it shows hundreds of others that they are truly not alone in this struggle. Okay, let's begin. Alright, to find a true solution, we must first have a deep respect for the problem. So let's start with our first section. Section number 1. The anatomy of a broken night. Why does this keep happening? So many of my patients, when they first sit down in my office, have this look of quiet frustration. They often ask me, "Doc, what's wrong with me? Why does my own body feel like it's betraying me every single night?" They feel a sense of personal failure, as if they're broken or weak. But I always stop them right there, and I tell them the same thing I'm about to tell you. This is not your fault. The constant urge to urinate at night, a condition we doctors call nocturia, is the result of a coordinated series of natural, biological shifts that occur as our bodies mature. Let's illuminate the 2 primary culprits, so you can finally understand the why behind those sleepless nights. The first culprit is a hormonal shift. Deep within your brain resides the pituitary gland, a master controller for many of your body's functions. Every night, it's supposed to release an increased amount of a crucial hormone called vasopressin. I like to call vasopressin the nighttime water conservation manager. When you're young and healthy, as soon as your head hits the pillow, this manager gets to work. It sends a powerful memo to your kidneys, and the message is simple: slow down urine production. Conserve water. Let the body rest. This brilliant system is nature's way of ensuring we get long, uninterrupted stretches of deep sleep. But here's the critical change that happens as we get older, particularly after our 60s. This is the core why of the issue. The pituitary gland's nighttime production of vasopressin naturally declines. The manager becomes less effective. Without that strong, clear signal to slow down, the kidneys just don't get the memo. They continue to filter your blood and produce urine at a rate much closer to their daytime pace. The result is simple, and it's predictable. Your bladder fills up much more quickly during the night than it used to. Now, that overproduction of urine is only half the story. The second culprit, which is just as important, involves the bladder itself. In your younger years, think of your bladder as a brand new, durable balloon. It could easily stretch to hold 16 ounces or more of urine. That's a full pint glass, before sending a gentle, polite signal to your brain. There was no screaming emergency. This connects to that all-too-familiar symptom of sudden urgency. As we age, that muscular wall of the bladder can lose some of its elasticity. It becomes more sensitive, more irritable. It becomes less like a durable balloon, and more like a thin, delicate one with a hair trigger. Now, it may only hold 6 or 7 ounces before it starts sending frantic, urgent signals to your brain. This is why you feel that overwhelming urge to go right now, even if you haven't had much to drink. Your bladder is simply overreacting. It's crying wolf. When you combine these two factors, the kidneys making more urine and a bladder that can't comfortably hold as much, you have created the perfect storm for chronic, sleep-shattering nocturia. But once you understand this mechanism, you realize it's not a mystery. It's a biological process. And the good news is, biological processes can be influenced, supported, and gently guided back toward balance. If this explanation finally makes sense of what you've been going through, please comment the word insight below. It helps me know we're on the right track. Okay, let's move on to our second section. Section number 2. The Kitchen Pharmacy, Unveiling the Humble Spice. Now that we understand the problem, the natural question is, what's the solution? Many people immediately think of complex prescriptions or expensive procedures. They're looking for a high-tech answer to what feels like a high-tech problem. But so often in my medical practice, I've found that the most profound solutions are not found in a synthetic chemical. They're found in the gentle, time-tested wisdom of nature. The answer to this particular problem isn't exotic or expensive. In fact, it's a humble spice you almost certainly have in your kitchen right now. The spice is cardamom. Specifically, the small, green pods of cardamom. Yes, the very same spice that lends its unique, aromatic warmth to everything from apple pie and coffee cakes to savory barbecue rubs here in the States. We often relegate it to the back of the spice rack, a minor player in our culinary orchestra. But for millennia, in ancient systems of medicine like Ayurveda from India, cardamom wasn't just a flavor, it was a first-line medicine. It was revered as the Queen of Spices, a title it earned for its profound ability to soothe, calm, and bring the body back into a state of equilibrium. This is the core reason it works so well. Ancient healers understood something that modern science is only now beginning to confirm with clinical evidence. Cardamom possesses unique, powerful properties that directly address the root causes of nighttime restlessness. It doesn't act like a harsh sleeping pill that knocks you out and leaves you feeling groggy and hungover the next morning. So many of my patients have complained about that disconnected feeling from sleep aids. Instead, cardamom works like a wise and gentle diplomat. It negotiates peace between your overactive bladder, your anxious nervous system, and even your digestive tract. It helps your body remember. It helps it remember its natural, God-given rhythm of rest. The story of cardamom isn't a new one. It's an ancient one. Its long history of safe, effective use is perhaps the most powerful testament to its capabilities. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful pharmacy isn't behind a counter, but inside our own kitchen pantry, waiting to be rediscovered. I bet many of you have this in your spice rack right now. If this is the first time you've heard of it for sleep, comment new to me. I'd love to see. Now, you might be thinking, a spice? Really, Doc? So, in our third section, let's look at the science. Section number 3. The science behind the ritual, more than just a flavor. As a physician, I am a firm believer that true healing begins with understanding. So let's move beyond tradition and look at the fascinating evidence-based science of how this simple spice can bring about such a profound change. Many people hear about a natural remedy and dismiss it as a folktale or wishful thinking. But the effects of cardamom are very real, grounded in the powerful chemistry of nature. Inside each green cardamom pod is a treasure trove of volatile oils, rich in bioactive compounds with names like cineol, terpineol acetate, and linalool. You don't need to remember the names. You just need to know the 3 critical jobs they perform to secure your sleep. Job number 1 is the most direct and crucial for our purpose. It is a bladder soother. The compounds in cardamom, particularly cineol, have a natural antispasmodic effect. Now, a spasm is simply an involuntary contraction of a muscle. When we say your bladder is irritable or overactive, What we really mean is that its muscular wall is experiencing tiny, unnecessary spasms. These spasms are what create that false, frustrating sense of urgency. When you chew cardamom and absorb its essential oils, these compounds circulate through your body and have a remarkable calming effect on smooth muscles, including the muscle of the bladder. They gently tell the bladder to relax, to stop twitching, and to wait until it is appropriately full before sending a signal. This single action can dramatically increase your bladder's functional capacity at night, allowing you to sleep for longer, uninterrupted stretches. Job number 2 is a nerve calmer. The cycle of waking up at night is not just physical. It's deeply psychological. You begin to anticipate waking up, which creates anxiety. This anxiety puts your nervous system into a low-grade fight or flight state, making your sleep lighter and making you even more sensitive to your bladder signals. It's a vicious cycle. The aromatic compounds in cardamom have a proven mild anti-anxiety effect. The simple act of chewing the aromatic spice and inhaling its scent sends calming signals directly to the limbic system of your brain, the seat of your emotions. It helps to turn down the volume on that mental chatter and ease the transition into deep, peaceful sleep. And job number 3, which many people miss, is its role as a digestive peacemaker. What happens in your gut directly affects your bladder. After an evening meal, indigestion, gas, and bloating create physical pressure within your abdominal cavity. This pressure pushes directly on your already sensitive bladder, creating a false sense of fullness. I had a patient, a lovely woman named Carol, who swore she had to go to the bathroom every time she felt bloated. Cardamom is a world-renowned carminative, a substance that prevents gas formation. By chewing it after your final meal, you are proactively soothing your entire digestive system, eliminating that internal pressure, and giving your bladder the peace and space it needs to do its job without being agitated by its neighbors. Out of these 3 benefits, which one surprised you the most? Number 1, the bladder soother. Number 2, the nerve calmer. Or number 3, the digestive peacemaker. Let me know in the comments. Alright, now for the most important part. Let's get into our 4th section. Section number 4. The 60-second ritual. Your blueprint for success. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is real power. This section is the most critical part of our entire conversation today. The effectiveness of this remedy lies not just in the spice itself, but in the precision of the ritual. I have refined this process with my patients over many years to ensure maximum absorption and benefit. Please pay close attention, because doing this correctly is the key to getting the results you deserve. First, let's talk about the perfect timing. The ideal time to perform this ritual is approximately 30 to 60 minutes before you intend to go to bed. This gives the active compounds enough time to be absorbed into your system and begin their calming work on your bladder and nerves before you even lie down. Do not do it immediately after eating a large meal, and do not wait until you are already in bed and feeling the urge. That 30 to 60 minute window is the sweet spot. Second, the correct form and dose. This is non-negotiable. You must use whole green cardamom pods, not the pre-ground powder you might use for baking. The essential oils that do all the work are incredibly volatile, meaning they evaporate and lose their potency very quickly once the seeds are crushed. The whole pod acts as a perfect, natural container, keeping them fresh and powerful. The correct dose for most adults is just 1 or 2 pods. This is not a situation where more is better. It is not necessary and may cause a mild stomach warmth for some sensitive individuals. Consistency is far more important than quantity. 1 pod every single night is infinitely more effective than 5 pods once a week. And third, here is the secret that makes the ritual so uniquely effective. The 60-second absorption method. First, place 1 or 2 whole cardamom pods in your mouth. Next, use your teeth to gently crack the outer shell. You don't need to pulverize it, just break it open to expose the small, black, aromatic seeds inside. Then, begin to chew slowly and mindfully. As you chew, the pod and seeds will release their wonderfully aromatic and slightly sweet essential oils. Now, for the crucial step, hold the chewed mixture in your mouth for a full 60 seconds. You can swish it gently around your mouth, particularly under your tongue. Why for a full minute? The area under your tongue is rich with capillaries, offering a direct superhighway to your bloodstream. This is called sublingual absorption. By holding the oils in your mouth, You allow these powerful compounds to be absorbed directly, bypassing the digestive system for a faster and more potent effect on your nerves and bladder. It is far more effective than simply swallowing them immediately. After that minute has passed, you can swallow the entire mixture. The fibrous shell is perfectly safe to ingest and even adds a bit of fiber to aid in digestion. This simple, mindful minute can be the most transformative part of your day. This 60-second method is the key. To show me you've got it, just comment "I'm ready" below. Now, before you rush off to try this, we need to talk about what can go wrong. Let's move to our fifth section. Section number 5. Avoiding sabotage. The critical mistakes that guarantee failure. I have seen too many good people try a natural remedy like this with great hope, only to give up after a few days, saying, "It didn't work for me," document. And my heart sinks every time, because in almost every case, it's not that the remedy failed them. It's that they unknowingly made a simple, avoidable mistake that sabotaged their own success. I want you to succeed. So please, listen carefully as we cover the 3 common saboteurs that can guarantee failure. Mistake number 1 is what I call the post-ritual flood. This is, without a doubt, the number 1 reason this ritual fails. The natural impulse after chewing something spicy or dry is to immediately wash it down with a big glass of water. You must resist this urge. Drinking a full 8-ounce glass of water right before bed is like sending a massive, unexpected workload directly to your kidneys. It completely negates the calming effect on your bladder. You are sending 2 contradictory messages to your body. And I promise you, the water will always win. If you absolutely need a sip of water to take medication or because your mouth feels extremely dry, make it just that. A few small sips of room temperature water. No more. This single detail is paramount. Mistake number 2 is the evening diet trap. The cardamom is a powerful ally, but it cannot win a war against a diet that is actively working against it. In the evening, your body is preparing for rest, and certain foods can act as major triggers for an overactive bladder. The biggest culprits are salty foods. Things like potato chips, processed deli meats, canned soups, or frozen dinners are loaded with sodium. Salt makes your body retain fluid during the day, and then at night, it makes you intensely thirsty, causing you to drink more right before bed. It's a double whammy. Very spicy foods can also act as a direct bladder irritant for some people. I had a patient, a gentleman named Bill, who loved hot sauce on everything. When he finally agreed to give up his spicy late-night snack, his nighttime trips were cut in half, even before starting the cardamom ritual. Keep your evening meal light, simple, and low in sodium. Think baked chicken, steamed vegetables, and a small baked potato. Set your body up for a calm night. And mistake number 3 is the tyranny of impatience. We live in a world that promises instant results for everything. But your body does not operate on that timeline. Your body is a garden, not a machine. It took years, perhaps even decades, for the pattern of nighttime waking to become so entrenched. It will take a little time to gently guide it back. Many people try this for 2 or 3 nights, and if they don't experience a complete miracle, they quit. This is a tragedy. I urge my patients to commit to this ritual consistently for at least 14 consecutive nights. For many, the change is gradual. The first victory might be waking up only twice instead of 3 times. The next might be sleeping a solid 4-hour stretch for the first time in years. Be patient with your body. Trust the process. The breakthrough you're hoping for is often just beyond the point where you feel like giving up. Honesty time. Have you ever made mistake number 1 or number 2? No judgment here. Just comment guilty if you have. We've all been there. Finally, let's talk about how to supercharge your results in our 6th and final section. Section number 6. Creating a sleep sanctuary. Habits that amplify your results. The 60-second cardamom ritual is the cornerstone of your new, peaceful nights. But to create the most profound and lasting change, I want you to integrate this ritual into a larger ecosystem of sleep-supportive habits. Think of the cardamom as the star player on a team. It's powerful, but it's even better when it has a great supporting cast. These actions work in synergy with the cardamom to send a clear, undeniable message to your entire body that the night is for deep, uninterrupted rest. First, let's talk about smart hydration. So often, People who worry about waking up at night make the mistake of dehydrating themselves all day, and then they try to play catch up by chugging water in the evening. This is the worst possible strategy. Instead, I want you to front-load your hydration. Drink plenty of water from the moment you wake up through the mid-afternoon. Make it your goal to have consumed most of your daily water intake by 6 p.m. After that, taper off significantly. Switch to small sips only as needed for thirst. This keeps your body properly hydrated without overwhelming your bladder at the worst possible time. It's a simple shift, but it makes a world of difference. Second is a habit I call the gentle evening walk. This is especially important for those of us who tend to sit for long periods in the evening, perhaps watching television. When we sit, gravity causes fluid to pool in our lower legs and ankles. This is a mild form of edema. When you finally lie down flat in bed, this trapped fluid re-enters your circulation, gets sent to the kidneys to be processed, and creates a late-night surge in urine production. I once explained this to a patient, an engineer named David, and the logic immediately clicked for him. A simple 15 to 20-minute gentle walk after dinner helps your calf muscles act like a pump. They squeeze that fluid out of your legs so it can be processed by your kidneys hours before you go to bed, not hours after. And third, and this is so important in our modern world, is the wind-down hour. The bright blue light emitted from our televisions, tablets, and phones is a powerful signal to your brain that it's still daytime. It actively suppresses the production of melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone. I tell my patients to declare the final hour before bed a screen-free zone. This is your sanctuary time. Read a physical book. Listen to some calming music. Do some gentle stretches. Talk with your spouse or a loved one. Allow your brain and your body to peacefully transition towards sleep, rather than being jolted into it from a state of high alert. These habits don't cost a dime, but their value to your sleep is immeasurable. They create the perfect stage for the cardamom ritual to perform its magic. Which of these 3 habits seems easiest for you to start tonight? Comment hydration, walk, or no screen. I'd be fascinated to know. We began this conversation together by acknowledging the quiet frustration of a night constantly interrupted. We spoke of the thief that steals your rest and your vitality. We talked about my patient, John, and his feeling that his own body had become his enemy at night. The story of his exhaustion, his fatigue, and his fear is a story shared by so many good people. But now, you are armed with knowledge. You have a clear plan, and you have a simple, powerful tool. The story of your nights does not have to be one of frustration and fatigue, like John's used to be. It can be a story of peace, of restoration, and of renewal. The power to rewrite that story does not lie in an expensive prescription bottle or a complicated medical device. It lies in the wisdom of your own body, and the gentle support of nature, found in the humble shape of a small green spice pod. The 60-second ritual we have discussed is more than just a physical act. It is a commitment you make to yourself. It is a declaration that you deserve to rest deeply. It is an act of reclaiming your health, one peaceful night at a time. I invite you to begin tonight. Walk to your kitchen, find the cardamom, and take the first small step on your journey back to the deep, healing sleep that is your birthright. As we wrap up, we've explored a simple yet powerful path back to peaceful sleep. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will try the 60-second ritual tonight, or I will take that gentle evening walk after dinner. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Your promise is powerful, and it will inspire others here to take that first step with you. And if you found real value and inspiration in our time together today, show your support by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another conversation full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends dedicated to living our best lives, together. Finally, think of one person, a spouse, a sibling, a dear friend, who needs to hear this message today, and please, share it with them. You never know whose life you might change. Thank you for spending your time with me. Be well, sleep deeply, and know that a brighter morning awaits.